Hello everyone, my name is Tara Borst and I'm here to demonstrate for you today first response and first aid, SABC or self-aid buddy care. Now the first two techniques that I'm going to show you today are going to be the ABCs of CPR and how to properly apply a tourniquet. In the 6 years that I was military police in the United States Air Force, I had to certify on SABC, and every 24 months it was required to recertify. I'm going to show you these techniques so that if you ever need to use them someday, you'll be of good assistance. The first thing that we're going to go through today is the ABCs. The A stands for airways, B stands for breathing, and C stands for circulation. So I'm going to show you how to clear the airways. To clear the airways, you're going to want to use the head tilt chin lift method. It's the easiest one to use. If you think that the spine and the back is going to have some damage to it, then you're going to want to use a different technique. And you're going to put your thumbs right next to the mouth and the chin, hold on to the chin, and lift it up. Now when you use the head tilt chin lift, it moves the tongue out of the way so that the airways are open. So you're going to place your hand on the top, put your fingers on the chin, tilt back, lift up, and open the airways. The next thing you're going to do is check for breathing. So when you check for breathing, you put your ear next to their mouth and listen and feel for the air that's coming out. And also, you're going to want to look down the line of the body to see if there's any chest movement there. Once you've got that done, then you're going to check for circulation. When you're checking for circulation, you're going to want to put your fingers on the top of the throat, and you're going to slide it over into the groove right next to it. There you should be able to feel the pulse. So if they have a pulse, then you can start your breathing. What you want to do when you're starting your breathing is you want to pinch the nose tightly so that no air can get through. Then you're going to want to put your mouth on their mouth and securely tighten it down so that no air is getting out, so it's going into the lungs. When you take these breaths, you're going to want to do 2 breaths, and you're going to want to make sure you have 2 seconds per breath watching the chest, making sure that it moves up so that the air is filling the lungs. So, head tilt, chin lift, pinch nose, breathe, check, breathe, check. Once you've got your patient breathing again, you're going to want to put them in the recovery position. To do that, you're going to want to lift the arm, and then you're going to want to bend the elbow of the other arm and bend the knee. So bend the elbow, bend the knee, and roll them over on their side. Once you have them on their side, make sure the head is still tilted back to keep those airways open. Once you have them breathing, then you're going to want to make sure that if they're vomiting, to also use that position so that they're not aspirating on their own vomit. And that's how you're going to apply your ABCs. Now we're going to go through the steps of applying a tourniquet. The first thing you need to know about applying a tourniquet is to always have your personal protective equipment. If you don't have personal protective equipment, make sure that you're not coming in contact with the bodily fluid so that you're not transferring bloodborne pathogens. So you're going to want to find something that is 1 to 2 inches thick if you don't already have a pre-made tourniquet. You can tear strips out of a shirt if you need to. Use yours, theirs, whatever you have available. Do not use things like shoelaces or cords or anything like that. So you're going to take those strips, and you can use this on the arms or the legs, never the throat or the torso. You're going to put it under the leg, as I'm showing you here, and you're going to want to tie a square knot. And all a square knot is the knot that you tie before you tie the loops in your shoes when you tie them. You're going to want to put it above the knee if possible. You're supposed to put it 4 to 6 inches above the wound, but putting it above the knee, it makes it easier to cut off the blood supply, because in the bottom there's 2 bones and in the top there's 1. So it makes it much easier to cut off that blood supply. Once you have your square knot, make it as tight as you possibly can. Then you're going to have a windlass. A windlass, as you can see, I'm using a remote. You can use anything that's long enough, and it's got to be solid enough so that it's not going to bend or break. You're going to place that windlass on the top of your square knot and tie another square knot over it tightly. Once you've done this, you can start turning your windlass. When you're turning your windlass, it only tightens down about 2 inches. So you keep turning it and turning it until you can't turn it anymore. And that's why it's so important to keep the first knot as tight as possible, because if you don't have the first knot as tight as you possibly can get it, then you're turning the windlass and you're not going to be cutting off the blood supply. So tie the knot, turn, 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 and then what you're going to do is take the remaining strip that you have and tie it securely on the bottom so that the windlass does not move. Now you have a proper tourniquet. A way to check to make sure that your tourniquet is working properly is to go to the wound itself, make sure that there is no blood spattering out or running out, and if there isn't any there, then you can also go down to the side of the ankle and feel for a pulse. As long as you don't feel a pulse, then you know you've cut off the blood supply. A tourniquet is only used to cut off blood supply to preserve life or limb, and you're going to want to get them to a doctor. You never undo a tourniquet. The doctor is the one that's going to undo it once they start the procedures that they need to do. When you're done doing your tourniquet and checking for your pulse and making sure there's no blood flow, then you're going to want to, on the top of their forehead with a pen, marker, or even blood if you don't have anything else, put a T on the top and put the time next to it, because it takes 111 minutes to cause damage. If your leg is in a tourniquet for that long, then the wound can start causing damage. A tourniquet itself never causes damage, and doctors have found that out in studies, but it's the wound itself that causes long-term damage. So that's how you apply a proper tourniquet. Now I'm going to give you time to go ahead and apply your own tourniquet and try your own ABCs, and I will walk you through it again. With your ABCs, go ahead and check the airways, head tilt, chin lift. Check for the breathing. Watch the line of the body, make sure that it's going up and down or that it's not. Then you're going to check the circulation. Put your fingers on the throat and check the side. Once you've done that, you can start breathing and make sure you only do it for 2 seconds. Make sure also that when you are checking the pulse, you only do that for 10 seconds and no more. Now that we've got that done, now you're going to try the tourniquet. Go ahead and take your strip, place it under your leg, tie the square knot, tie it as tight as you can, place the windlass over it, tie another square knot. Turn your windlass and tie it back down around the leg to secure it. Go ahead and check for the pulse and for the blood coming out of the wound. And now you've properly applied a tourniquet to someone who might be in need. And I thank you for your time and allowing me to come in and demonstrate for you today, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.